I'm fourth generation here on our family dairy, Breda Family Farms.
You got to wake up early in the morning, you got to come to work every day.
Kids think that they really think they want to be a vet until it comes down to it, and then they don't actually really want to do it. And I think that it's okay.
Welding, there's not an egg shop, there's not a farm that doesn't have a welder.
The best part about my job is really helping people.
My educational background is on-the-job training.
California agriculture drives the state's economy, grossing over $500 billion a year. From logging and fishing on the North Coast to the lush landscapes and nursery crops of Southern California, agriculture encompasses more than just the farmer. Through this series, you will be introduced to the unsung heroes of the agriculture industry. Agriculture education is cultivating careers. This episode, Welding, Fabrication, and Design.
All right, my name is Martin Kiff, K-I-F-F, like Frank. I am the sole proprietor of Iron Horse Metals. I spent 30 plus years as a professional rodeo clown. Got into welding kind of as a side job. It's hard to make a real good living rodeoing unless you're gone all the time. And I don't like to be gone all the time, so I needed something to do during midweek, and I ended up having a couple of good friends that were really good welders. I started hanging out with them, learning how to weld, how to cut things out with a plasma cutter, and I pretty much just started, from the ground up. I'm lucky enough that I've never needed to advertise, and I've been pretty busy, so life's good. So my educational background, I took every ag class I could, shop class I could in high school. Should have jumped right into the trades, but I got into Cal Poly, mainly because I wanted to be a rodeo clown. Was lucky enough to do that full-time for about 5 years, went back to Cal Poly after that, and then thought I might want to teach. I took a lot of classes in English and history, all the stuff that I have a lot of great knowledge of, but really wasn't practical. Still wanted to rodeo, had some success in that, and basically needed a job that I could work for myself. So teaching history on the side or English on the side was really not an option. So I always loved working with my hands. I always loved the trades. I love everything about carpentry and electrical and plumbing and that type of thing. And welding fits right in. You need to be, if you're a welder, you also need to be able to fix all your equipment. So you need a big electrical background. You need, you need a lot of different tools. I incorporate a lot of wood in a lot of my designs. So the carpentry fits in there. The electrical fits in with all the gate operators. And the plumbing is for when I break things. My job relates 100% to the agricultural community. Here we're at a winery. They found that one of the ways to sell wine is to make it a destination. They want people to come, bring a lunch, buy a lunch, sit down in the beautiful gardens, have an experience. This is not your basic raising cattle or hogs, for market. But this is a big part of the agricultural community right here. Is just presentation. I would say 90% of their clientele are from very urban areas, cities, and stuff like that, and they want to feel like they're in the country. And so this is one of the things we do here. Is this property is multi-million-dollar, in landscaping and in metalwork and presentation. The bottom line is they need to sell an awful lot of wine to pay for it. Not that it's a necessity, but we're lucky enough here that we work for a lot of people that pretty much need a tax write-off. A lot of the agricultural industry is a giant tax write-off for major corporations and this and that. This I would say is no exception. However, they're very smart about marketing. They've done very well. They're trying to, they probably employ 15 people full-time here. And those people spend money in our town and Windsor and in Sonoma County. But anyway, You know, there's not a farm that doesn't have a welder. I want to really stress that point. And most farmers know how to weld because I'm expensive, and it's not worth bringing it to me to fix it. So there are circumstances where you do need a little bit more experience to put something together, put it together correctly, or repair something. That's where, you know, the professional type welder comes in handy as far as the farms go. But most farmers that I know can weld as well as I can. So the main task of my job, I would say it's about 20% public relations. I would say it's about 20% actually welding. It's probably another 20% in the thought process of how am I going to make this work? How am I going to be able to duplicate it quickly so I can turn my profit margins way up? These arches are a great example behind us here. There's 30 something on the property. The first one took me about 8 hours to build. But when I built it, I built a table that supported the structure. It had the right curve and the right places to clamp to. After that first initial 8 hour one, I could do one about every 4 hours. So that's the key is if I can, you know, charge a lot of money for each arch and be able to do 2 in a day, you know, sometimes 3, my profit margin just goes through the roof. So, you know, that process is maybe another, you know, at least another 20% of it. The actual, you know, I'd say driving to a job, people don't realize that's a big part of you know, of where your location is. If I'm in my shop, everything's right there. If I'm not in my shop, I make sure I bring everything with me. I'd say that's a good 10% of it is just, you know, the logistics of figuring out what I'm going to need, when I'm going to need it, and not having to go back and forth. I got 10% left. I would say 10%. The other 10% is you got to make it fun. You know, and the beauty of putting something up in the trades is that you walk away at the end of the day and you feel like you've done something. I mean, there's a lot of jobs that's not really not the case, but you know, I make it fun. We have a good time. I always have a good time. I've got a good buddy that's helps me a lot. We are constantly joking back and forth, and you know, I take the time to go hit golf balls. I take the time to you know, hopefully see my kids a little bit. I don't stress this as a, you know, some weeks it's 60 hours, other weeks it's 20. But I think you have to keep that blend in and not just make it something that's a do or die, you know, all the time. I could probably be a lot more successful if I was like that, but you know, life's too short. So I'd say that would be another 10%. The favorite part of your career, aside from the paychecks, I don't know. I think it's a sense of accomplishment. It's something I can bring you guys here and say, I did this. And this is going to be here a long time. And I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, you know, pretty much throughout Sonoma County. There's not an area really that I haven't been in and put something up that's still there. So that's kind of the, you know, it's a really neat satisfaction when the homeowner says, hey, great job, and you get a lot of compliments and you know, easily one of the best parts about this job. Everyday skill is math, you know, hands down. You know, there's a lot of math involved. A lot, you know, I need to be able to bid something and say it's going to take this many feet of this metal and this many feet of that type of metal and this many feet of, you know, wire fencing and this many feet of this. So a typical day for me today was get up. I make my wife breakfast because she's a teacher and needs to get ready for school. I'm usually, today I was out in the shop about 7:15, loaded the truck for this job, got here at 8, got everything laid out. We're going to try to get as far as we can today. I got to meet another client at 1 and another potential client at 3. And then I'm going to be on the golf course at 4, and I've got a meeting at 7. Some I have an awful lot. This place I've got an awful lot. Other ones, it's you know, the commercial jobs especially. I try to shy away from commercial jobs. There's a beauty of getting a set of plans and just doing exactly what the plans say to do. because if something goes wrong, you can go right to the plans and say, this hole is where it was supposed to be, and this is welded right where it's supposed to be, and it's not my problem. Most jobs you get to, when you go to show up with exactly what's been made, a lot of times doesn't fit exactly the way it's supposed to fit. Through really no fault of, I mean, it makes a lot of contractors involved, you know, concrete guys and everything else, and there'll be a pipe where this is, or something like that. You know, there's a little bit of flexibility involved there. However, that guy's gonna get paid, you know, because he built it exactly as it was supposed to, and then he's gonna get paid to change it. There's a lot of money in that. So you can't be set in stone. And I've seen certain tradespeople get really frustrated on change orders. But there's also a lot of times where the homeowner or whoever, the winery owner, sees it on paper and then sees it up in the air and says, that's not really what they were looking for. And so you need to have a little bit of flexibility where you could say, well, how about if we do this? And to appease them, because looking at blueprints, architects know that, know the overall vision. A lot of times the homeowner or the farmer or the rancher or whoever doesn't see the overall vision. So you need to be flexible in that sense. It's hard to describe that, but that's, you know, that's the way it is. So, I mean, if you're interested in welding, and I would say this goes through anything in the trades, you know, get some experience. It's, you know, most tradespeople start work at 7, end at 3:30, and have the afternoon to you know, do something fun. You know, if you're working for yourself, you've got extra hours as far as billing goes and that type of thing. If you're working for somebody, you know, you're pretty much, your day ends right then. You know, you wrap up your tools and you get in your truck and you drive home. There's some great benefits to that. The money's fantastic. You know, the retirement plan and all the other stuff that, you know, that you see in all these other jobs. This is pretty much, you got to be responsible enough to take care of yourself. You know, those benefits really aren't there. I need to stay healthy. I need to be able to get to the next job. I need to be able to work for the next 10 years or however many years it's going to take. And you know, anyway, but I get some experience. There's people all over the place that would love to teach. You know, I would love to pass on all the knowledge I have, you know, as much as I can. You know, there's great jobs in all the trades right now, all the trades.
Thank you to those who made Season 1